Molly Baldwin, Executive Director of Roca in Boston in the United States. She has applied the peacemaking circle concept learned from Mark Wedge, who is a circle keeper of the Tlingit Nation, to building the capacity of impoverished inner city neighborhoods.
This year, in one of the circles, we had a judge that we've been kind of chipping away at her. We dance between what's voluntary and what's relentless. We got out of being a pain in the you-know-what, and now we're just relentless. It sounds better. And we finally had the judge come, some people from the district attorney's office, and a lot of police. And we met with the young people before and asked for their help. All of them had been in circles because we knew that this group of adults would have a hard time, that it had taken a long time for them to come, that they were quite nervous. It was a lot of time for them to give up, and they didn't really know what they were getting into. And the young people were quite gracious and said, we'll help them. We get that. And so in the circle, actually pretty quickly, pretty early on in the process, the judge decided to go to a fairly deep place in her own life and opened the circle up. And then many of the young people were very generous with their stories about the violence they had suffered as young people, about the violence they had caused. Every one of them had hurt people actually over long periods of time, and their own change process, which is a very courageous thing. We had another friend who's an ex-offender who had done about 17 years of time, and he actually talked about something that he hadn't spoken of ever, and it was about a 20-year-old piece that he needed to let go of. Some of the adults got very, very nervous in the circle, which you could sort of see. And so then the young people started changing what they were saying so they could help the young people not get so nervous. But what was really interesting to me was, first of all, that as a community we've come together, that we know how to take care of each other, and that the young people, those who everyone thought were the bad ones, were taking care of the grown-ups. That here we live in a community, all of us across the world, where we don't want violence. It's not a good thing. We cause violence to our children. We don't want to deal with that. Then they commit crimes. Then we're mad at them. Then we don't know why they commit crimes. We do all these crazy things about to understand that. They're finally changing. All they need to do is talk, and then we can't listen to them, right? So in communities, what we need to do is be able to sit still long enough. And so for me, when I think about this process of values, the opportunity is to learn to be and do the things that we most want deepest in our heart. It's an opportunity to sit still and to hold on long enough, because if we want to get to hard things, the kinds of things people are talking about and that you all deal with, you have to sit still long enough. I think the biggest challenge is, can we practice what we preach? So that it's not this thing that you do to people, it's a way of being. And the processes are great, the circles, the conferences, the mediations, but it's really about what you do in between, right? So, and the challenge of values is really, what do you do when it's hard, not when it's easy. I tend to be pretty good at holding those values when things are going well. It gets a little tougher when the stress points come up. You know, if I feel threatened, or I'm overwrought, or if I'm scared. And so that's really, to me, the greatest challenge for all of us, is how do we embrace these values, these things that are the core of all human beings, all the spiritual traditions, and be what we most want in our heart. Look forward to getting to know you all. Thank you.